Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Well, I kept a promise yesterday in yesterday's vlog. I said it would be a long one, and it was. I think it was 38 minutes. So thanks to everybody who stuck with it. I hope it was worth the time spent. If it's any consolation, it took me a long time. I was up till I think 3 o'clock in the morning editing it. So we all suffered together. But I also said in that other vlog, the one yesterday, that I would make it, maybe I said I would only try to make it up, but I'm going to turn that into a promise. I promise I will make it up yesterday's long vlog by making today's short vlog. And this is going to be another one of those situations where I had a topic all prepared and now I have to talk about something else, but I will definitely get to the other topic. The reason I have to change topics is because of a new development today in the impeachment circus. So here's the first headline. I think I got 2 or 3 of them, but it's going to be very brief. Sondland updates impeachment testimony describing Ukraine quid pro quo. As I spent 38 minutes explaining yesterday, I think that is a mischaracterization. But let me read you. What happened was Sondland, well, as it says here, he updated his testimony. He said there was no quid pro quo. Now, this is what he's saying now, the new testimony. I'm just going to read you a couple paragraphs, but as usual, I linked to the whole thing, so you can read the whole thing if you want to. So here we go. I said, this is Sondland speaking, I said that resumption of the U.S. aid would likely not occur until Ukraine provided the public anti-corruption statement that we have been discussing for many weeks, Mr. Sondland said in the document, which was released by the House committees leading the inquiry, along with the transcript of his original testimony from last month. And then further along, I presume that the aid suspension had become linked to the proposed anti-corruption statement, Mr. Sondland said. Now let's look at those 2 quotes again with one word emphasized in both of those quotes, my emphasis. I said that resumption of the U.S. aid would likely not occur until Ukraine provided the public anti-corruption statement that we have been discussing for many weeks, Mr. Sondland said in the document, which was released, blah, blah, blah. Second quote, I presumed that the aid suspension had become linked to the proposed anti-corruption statement, Mr. Sondland said. So again, it's all about corruption. Trump did not want to give money to a government with a reputation for corruption unless he had assurances, public assurances, that it would be different this time, that corruption would be investigated. Some of that corruption, unfortunately, or possible corruption, involved Burisma, the company on which Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, sat. But it is in no way a demand or a quid pro quo. Well, that's not even a quid pro quo. It's what I said yesterday, that we have public statements by Sanders and Warren threatening Israel, threatening to withhold aid unless Israel changes its policy on settlements. So that's Israel, this is the Ukraine, that's Israel's settlement policy, this is Ukraine's policy about investigating corruption. The 2 are exactly equivalent. I still stand by that statement that I made before. Now, Burisma, it just so happens that Hunter Biden sat on the board, and if you're investigating corruption, it's legitimate to look into that. It's not Trump's fault if Joe Biden is Hunter Biden's father. I don't see any justification for, well, we say the president is not above the law, so is Joe Biden's son above the law? Is Joe Biden above the law if he engaged in corruption himself? And that's what I'm going to get to in a second. And this is a good test for the media to see if the media is fair, because here's another headline that came out at the same time as the one that I just read you. Pay attention now. Hunter Biden's Ukraine gas firm pressed Obama administration to end corruption allegations, memos show. Give you a couple of quotes here. How many I got here? 2 or 3? 2. All right. Hunter Biden and his Ukrainian gas firm colleagues had multiple contacts with the Obama State Department during the 2016 election cycle, including one just a month before Vice President Joe Biden forced Ukraine to fire the prosecutor investigating his son's company for corruption, newly released memos show. So we've got memos showing this. Second quote. During that February 2016 contact, a U.S. representative for Burisma Holdings sought a meeting with Undersecretary of State Catherine A. Novelli to discuss ending the corruption allegations against the Ukrainian firm where Hunter Biden worked as a board member, according to memos obtained under a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. I filed that suit this summer with the help of the public interest law firm, the Southwestern Legal Foundation. The I in that last sentence, I included it because the quote should be complete, but the I is John Solomon. That's the reporter who wrote the story. And it's also John Solomon who has been a real thorn in the Democrats' side, precisely because he does this investigative journalism. So I said a moment ago, here's a test for the media. We had the one story about Sondland revising his testimony. Now, how about this one? Will the media report both stories equally? Because this is an example of a potential, and I'm just saying potential, quid pro quo, and potential, I'm just saying potential, but worth investigating, corruption. Because obviously Burisma wanted Hunter Biden on that board, or it would seem to be obvious that Burisma wanted Hunter Biden on that board to have influence with his father, who was at that time the vice president. He was the vice president. Okay, the president is not above the law, so is the vice president above the law? And what did Obama know about this? So is President Obama above the law? So I'm going to end this here. Thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? You can put them in the comment section below the video. You can also subscribe. That would be fantastic. And first and foremost, and first and last, and always come back and see me again. I'll be right here waiting for you. Looking forward to seeing you again, and maybe a few other people besides. But until then, bye.